Where do celebrities, the rich and famous as some would say, choose or have chosen to live in Orlando in the past? Well, there's a new article out by the Orlando Business Journal detailing the top 10 celebrity home sales in Orlando. And so for today's video, we're going to dive into that list. We're going to look at the areas they've chosen, the neighborhoods they've chosen, and actually compare what a similar priced home looks like in those areas today. So coming in at number 10 is NBA superstar Dwight Howard. Back in '08 for over $7 million, but the sale of his home ended up coming in at just $3.4 million a couple years later. Adjusted for inflation, it's a little bit higher. If I were to guess why he chose this particular property, I would say it's partially due to its location. You're about 20 minutes to what was the Amway Center, now the Kia Center. You're really close to Winter Park and all the amazing amenities there. For sure has less of an urban feel, which might be important to guys like this where everything is so fast paced. There's some nice shops, restaurants. They do have community events in Longwood as well, which is cool. But I do think above all, the proximity to Lake Mary, to Winter Park, to downtown Orlando, and really the rest of Central Florida really gives it an advantage. On top of that, when you think of the real estate, it's more affordable, so more bang for your buck, regardless of whatever price point you're at comparative to some of the more popular areas of Central Florida. Coming in at number 9 is actually Joey Fatone. He ended up selling his house back in 2011, and that home was located in none other than Dr. Phillips. The street that it's located off of has a name to it here. It's called Millionaires Row. As you can imagine by the name, a lot of custom homes off that street, and a lot of them actually have direct lake access to Lake Sheen, which is a part of the Butler chain of lakes, which spreads over into the Windermere area. But no secret why someone might choose Dr. Phillips. Central to everything Orlando. You got Restaurant Row, Millionaires Row, Restaurant Row. You also got Disney really close nearby, which is cool. Universal, access to the malls, to downtown, to everything is practically 30 minutes, give or take, in either direction. Not to also mention the amazing golf courses in and around Dr. Phillips. As a matter of fact, I got my golf clubs staring at me right now. Actually, I mean, all this to shoot like 20 over anyway, but if you do want to golf with me, we could definitely talk some market statistics while you watch me play like crap.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, ultimately, no surprise here as to the location of this one. Dr. Phillips is an absolutely incredibly convenient location to live in. You have just everything at your fingertips, and real estate-wise, it doesn't matter what you're looking for the most part. As long as your budget's there, you will find something. At spot number 8 is the legendary college football coach Lou Holtz. He sold his home back in 2020, so fairly recently, in the Lake Nona Golf and Country Club. I've talked about Lake Nona a lot on this channel. As a matter of fact, I have an amazing listing right now in Lake Nona asking $1.275 in their crown jewel neighborhood of Laureate Park. Make sure to go check out the video I did there. I actually had a conversation with the owners. But anyway, going back to Lake Nona's Golf and Country Club, highly prestigious community, still home right now to many athletes, doctors, lawyers, CFOs, you name it. And they're very well-rounded in what they offer, maybe in comparison to some other popular exclusive neighborhoods in the Central Florida area. Everything from the golf course being amazing. You got the workshop, which is like their club fitting and repair experience that they have. You also have what they call the Nona Crew House, which is their dedicated facility for the young ones. The clubhouse is amazing. Tennis courts, pool. Actually, Lake Nona is behind the gates within the country club. You got dining options with seasonal menu items, and you also got events strictly for the adults, events for the family. They actually have their Fall on the Lawn, which is their annual fall gathering at the country club today. And by virtue, the Lake Nona area, of course, offers unparalleled proximity to the airport. So if you're traveling a lot, that's of course going to be a really good perk. You got the Lake Nona Town Center with their different events and restaurants. You still have really good access into the rest of Orlando to enjoy and explore. So Lake Nona Golf and Country Club, surely if you're in that price bracket, certainly a neighborhood you should be taking a look at. So something really interesting happens in between number 7 all the way up to number 1. And it's that all these celebrities have either lived in one of two areas: Windermere or Winter Park. And starting with Winter Park on this list, we've had the billionaire couple Mark and Sharon Hagel, who sold their home this year for $12 million in Winter Park. We've had Nick Faldo, famous golfer, designed a lot of the golf courses around here in Orlando, and also Horace Grant, the NBA superstar. Lakeview, which was then renamed to Osceola, which was then renamed to Winter Park, has a lot of history to it. Part of that history is that wealthy Northerners used to come down during the wintertime, as you can imagine, and this was kind of like their playground. This is a really nice, amazing area back then compared to now. That still carries over in regards to how nice it is. As an area, it offers something for everybody, regardless of whatever you're into. And the thing is, everything that's done there is done really well, top of its class, whether that's the golf courses, wellness facilities, the shopping, the dining, well-rated schools, and private options, among many other things. The thing about Winter Park is it's not a one-off circumstance. It's a collection of wealth. And so also when you look at the fact that a lot of people at times, if you're affluent and you're buying these multi-million-dollar properties, you want to protect your asset. You don't want to be the only expensive home in the neighborhood. A lot of comps available for these $3, $4, $5, $6 million properties, which gives that type of buyer a greater deal of comfort. Likewise, over in Windermere, and funny enough, of the 4 celebrities, 3 of them have bought in the same exact community, leaving only Lou Pearlman buying in a neighboring community in the Windermere area. But all other 3 have purchased in Isleworth Golf and Country Club. I've also done a video on a home in Isleworth, which is more representative of the entry-level home in that neighborhood, which is going to be right around that $2 to $3 million mark. But Bubba Watson, the famous blue roof that housed Shaquille O'Neal, and coming in at number 1 was a $35 million sale inclusive of art and furnishings by the former owner of Orlando City Soccer, which was insane and now is the most expensive home ever sold in all of Central Florida. As far as amenities go for the neighborhood, Isleworth has a near 90,000 square foot clubhouse with fitness facilities, spa, a really nice outdoor pool area. You have meeting space, event space, variety of restaurants. The golf course is immaculate. Really hard to get into as well. A dream of mine is definitely to play hole 14 at sunset. That thing looks absolutely amazing. But you have your lake access to the Butler chain of lakes. As far as the real estate goes though, incredibly expensive as you can imagine, comparative to the rest of Orlando, of course. And so we're talking on the low end, like I mentioned, in the $2 million mark. If you're looking to be on the water, that's going to be at least $5 to $6 million. And you certainly can go all the way up to $35 million from there. Within Windermere, you have downtown Windermere, of course, with some really nice shops and restaurants, weekly farmers markets, community events, things of that nature, but not a ton of options down there. And time again, I've heard from people who live in Windermere, they kind of like it that way. It's not meant to be a Winter Park, for example, where if you're living close to Park Ave, you can kind of walk outside your doorstep and be surrounded by Michelin Guide restaurants. The feel I get going through Windermere is much more of a recluse one, but yet connected to the things that make Orlando Orlando. You have amazing proximity to the parks, to Universal, to restaurants, all that kind of stuff. But within your home base, it really is a quiet, private enclave. Whether or not you're looking to live in these areas that these celebrities have lived, or you're looking for a different spot somewhere in Central Florida, as a real estate agent, I would love to partner with you on that journey. So feel free, shoot me an email, info@orlandowithmario.com. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know who were you surprised by, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one.